want. So let's start with conjunction, okay? Conjunction. Let's start with conjunction. Don't forget, I told you conjunction is represented by this sign and it means and. Do you understand? And. Now, what exactly do you mean by conjunction? Like, when you hear the word conjunction, what can you say about it? Conjunction refers to a compound statement that is formed by joining simple statement by hand. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? That is, we have a compound statement that we can call conjunction if what connects the simple statement that form the compound statement is and. Are you getting it? Let me explain again. We can call a compound statement conjunction, or we have conjunction compound statement if we have two simple statements coming together by being connected by this word and. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So anytime you have a statement connected, anytime you have two simple statements connected by the word and, the name of that compound statement is conjunction. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay, now let's look at some few examples here. Let's say P represents John is tall and Q represents John is handsome. Look at these two statements. P represents John is tall and Q represents John is handsome. Now, I want to combine, I'm very sure you are aware that both of them are statements, you understand? They are stated because they can be argued out. They can be used in logical context. Now, we have P represent John is tall and Q represent John is handsome. Now, let us combine the two simple statements using conjunction. That is what? P conjunction Q, right? Do you know the meaning? P conjunction Q. P conjunction Q means John is tall. John is tall. Now, instead of John is handsome, now I'm going to write and, because now this word stands for hand. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? John is tall, which is the first statement, and handsome. And handsome. So you can see that conjunction is just a connective that connects two simple statements using and. So the conjunction here works as and. Do you understand? Okay, that is the first example. Let's look at more example. Let's say Nigeria. Let's say another statement. Let's say X represents Nigeria. Nigeria is in Africa. And Y represents 8 is an even number. If you want to write X conjunction Y, that will be what? Nigeria is in Africa and Nigeria is in Africa, which is true. And 8, okay, let me write it, and 8 is an even number. Okay, you can see that by joining two statements together using using this word and, we're talking about conjunction. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Because you can be given an exam that identifies the connective that is present in this compound statement. Okay, so please kindly pay attention. Okay, so this is I just give you two examples on it now. So now, having understand the meaning of connectives, how do we want to talk about the truth value? I mean, the truth table of connectives. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Listen, it's simple. I told you that truth table is just a table that is used to represent the relationship that exists between the truth value of the statement that you are given. Okay, so we want to talk about truth table. We want to talk about truth table for conjunction. That is, when we have a compound statement that is that involve conjunction, how will the truth table look like? So we want to talk about it. Just pay attention. It's simple. Okay. Now I want you to look at the statements that you have on your screen. The first statement is this: Nigeria is an African and 7 is an even number. Look at that statement. Nigeria is in Africa and 7 is an even number. Now, the first statement. Let A, please listen to me. Let K represent Nigeria is in Africa. Nigeria is in Africa. And let us represent L as for the first statement, and as 7 is an even number. 7 is an even number. Okay, please, you see, listen to me. I want to help you to understand how this table works for conjunction. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Don't forget, we are looking at the truth table for conjunction. So I want to give you some important statement, and we are going to use that statement to construct the table for conjunction. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? To construct the truth table for conjunction. Okay, now we have the first statement. K represents Nigeria is in Africa, and L represents 7 is an even number. Okay, let us look at the second statement, statement B. The second statement, statement B. Nigeria is in Asia and 7 is an odd number. Nigeria is in Asia. B. Nigeria. K represents Nigeria is in Asia. Nigeria is in Asia. And let us represent L as the second statement. And 7 is an even number. And 7, Nigeria is in Asia, and 7 is an odd number. Sorry. And 7 is an odd number. Okay, now let's look at the third statement, statement C. We have Nigeria is in Africa and 7 is an odd number. Nigeria is in Africa and 7 is an odd number. Nigeria, K represents Nigeria is in Africa, and L represents 7 is an odd number. Then let's look at the last statement, which is statement D. Nigeria is in Asia and 7 is an even number. That is statement D. Nigeria is in Asia and 7 is an. Nigeria is in Asia. Okay, K represents Nigeria is in Asia. Sorry. K represents Nigeria is in Asia, and L represents 7 is an even number. 7 is an even number. Okay, now look at this. We have the following statement on the board. In this, please pay attention. Don't forget, I defined truth table as a table that shows the relationship that exists between the truth value of a statement. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Now, because in conjunction, we are dealing with compound statements. So we are looking at the relationship that exists between the truth value of a statement that formed a compound statement. That is conjunction. Conjunction connect two simple statements to form a compound statement. So each of these statements are compound statements. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Now, let us try to represent the truth value of each of these statements on this table. So we have the first symbol K, the second symbol L. Are you there? K, L. Now, for the first one, which is A, we want to look at it now. Nigeria is in Africa. What is the truth value of that statement? Don't forget, I told you in the previous class that truth value reveals the identity of a statement. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? It tells us as to whether a statement is true or false. Do you understand? Now, look at the first sentence. The first statement here. Nigeria is in Africa. Is Nigeria in Africa or is not in Africa? Yes, Nigeria is in Africa. So the truth value of this statement is what? Is true. And I told you that when a statement is true, we represent it as what? As T, capital letter T. Do you understand? So for this, I'm going to have capital letter T. Do you understand? That is, K is true for the first statement. Now, I'm dealing with the first compound statement, which is this. Nigeria is in Africa. That means that K is true. Now, let us look at L. L is the second part of the first statement. Second part is what? 7 is an even number. Okay? Now, look at this. Is 7 an even number or not? Okay? 7 is not an even number. 7 is an odd number. So that means that the truth value of the second statement is what? Is false. Are you getting it? Because 7 is not an even number. It is an odd number. So we're going to have F here. Are you getting it? For the first statement, statement C. Nigeria is in Africa. That is true. The truth value is T. Now, L, 7 is an even number. The truth value is false because 7 is not an even number. It is an odd number. Do you understand? Okay? Now, for the first statement, listen to me. For the first statement, K conjunction L. K conjunction L means Nigeria is in African and 7 is an even number. I just combine both statements using and. Do you understand? As I told you earlier, that in conjunction we are combining two simple statements by these symbols. Are you getting it? These symbols means and. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So K conjunction L means Nigeria is in Africa and 7 is an even number. Now, what will be the conclusion of this? Will it be true or false? That's where I'm going. Like when we have two statements combined together by a conjunction in which one of them, the first part of the statement is true and the second part is false, what will be the conclusion? Are we going to have true or false in this place, or we are going to have are we going to have true T in this place or false? That's what I want to explain to you. Now look, anytime you have simple statements combined together by this conjunction and, by these connectives and, if the first part of the statement is true while the second part is false, the conclusion will be true. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Because the first part is true. You can see Nigeria is in Africa, so the first part is true, even though the second part is not true. So the conclusion will be what? Will be true. That is, we are going to have T here. Do you understand? Listen to me. You have to know. You have to be able to. You have to understand the truth table of each of the connectives. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So as to, because when we get to tautology and contradiction, you're going to discover that we're going to be using many tables. So I want you to understand, okay? So listen. When you have T first, like when the first statement is true and the second statement is false, the conjunction of both statements will be what? Will be true. Okay? Now let's look at the second statement. We have statement this. We are here now. B. Now K here. K is this. Nigeria is in Asia. Nigeria is in Asia. Now, what is the truth value of this statement? I told you, truth value reveals the identity of a statement, right? It tells whether a statement is true or not. Now, Nigeria is in Asia. What is the truth value? Is the statement true or not? It is false. The statement is not true because Nigeria is an African country. Okay, so the statement here, K here will be what? Will be false. Do you understand? Now, let us look at the second part of the statement L. 7 is an odd number. Indeed, 7 is an odd number. So the statement here is true. Now, what will be the conjunction? If the conjunction now will be what? K conjunction L, which is Nigeria is in Asia and 7 is an odd number. Okay? What will be the conclusion of both statements? Like, what will be the conclusion of that compound statement? Nigeria is in Asia and 7 is an odd number. Well, Nigeria is not in Asia, but 7 is an odd number. So, because 7 is an odd number, that means that the conclusion will also be true. Are you getting it? The conclusion will be true. The reason what makes the conclusion true is because one of the statements is true. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So when you have a compound statement in which one of the statements is true, that means you're going to have a conclusion that is true. Are you getting it? Now, let's look at C. Nigeria is in Africa. Nigeria is in Africa, so that will be true. Oh, let me use black pen, okay? Let's use black pen. Nigeria is in Africa, that is true. 7 is an odd number, that is also true. So, in this case, both statements are true. And I'm now in number C, okay? I'm in C. Nigeria is in Africa and 7 is an odd number. So, both statements here is true. So, the conclusion also will be what? Will be true. Now, we have the last statement. Nigeria is in Asia. Nigeria is in Asia. Nigeria is not in Asia. So, I'm going to have false. 7 is an even number. That is also false. So, you can see that both statements here are false. So, the conclusion of this statement will be what? Will be false. Now, the summary of what I'm saying is that when you have a compound statement connected together by a conjunction, if the first part of the second statement of the compound statement is true and the second part is false, the conclusion will be true. Are you there? Now, eventually, if the first part of the compound statement appears to be false and the second part appears to be true, the conclusion will be true. Okay? Now, if both statements are true, that means that the conclusion will be true. Now, if both statements are false, the conclusion will be what? Will be false. Are you getting it? So, just note it like this. In conjunction, the truth table for conjunction, if one of the statements is false and one is true, I'm going to have true. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? And if both statements are true, I'm going to have true as the conclusion. The only reason when I can have a conclusion that is false is when both statements are false. Kindly note that, okay? So this table that you see here is the truth table for conjunction. Are you getting it? This is the truth table for conjunction. Now, Having understand what is meant by conjunction and the truth table, let us move to the second connectives known as disjunction. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Disjunction. You can, okay, let me just write it out. Disjunction. Okay. To watch the complete class, kindly click on the link in the description of this video or the comment section. Okay. See you in the next class.